What up, SMT Nation? It's your boy, the SMT. We're going to be speed testing everything. We're going to speed test Verizon, 5G, and LTE. We're going to test AT&T, 5G and LTE. We're going to test T-Mobile, the same, 5G and LTE. Let's go ahead and start first with the landscape. We are currently on Lorain Road in Cleveland, Ohio. We're on the near west side, not too far from the bakery, actually, a few blocks away. And they just installed, well, Verizon just installed some new ultra-wideband panels on that site. They actually just exchanged and took out the Nokia panels that were there, and now we have Samsung gear. So if you take a look really, really close, you'll see that these are much smaller than the Nokia counterparts. They're also better, in my opinion. The connection more resilient, more reliable, and they've got what's become better capacity, essentially. All right, so we're going to test that site, and then we're going to test that site. Just installed, fresh off the press, CBRS. This is band 48 LTE. All right, we'll see if it's on. I'm not even sure if it is, but I've never noticed it in this block. So we've got a couple things to test here. We are connected to ultra wideband. There you go, 5G. So this is the millimeter wave, N260. This is 39 gigahertz. And we're off. Ping time at 16 millisecond. We got a little bit of jitter at 2 millisecond. We got downlink speed, incredible. 3,812 megabits per second on the downlink. Uplink at 268 megabits per second. Absolutely tremendous capacity for Verizon 5G ultra wideband. I'm going to go ahead and test it one more time. We'll see if maybe we can crack the 4,000 megabit per second barrier and see if the uplink is any better. Now, I will say that I'm not directly in line of sight. It's kind of like pointing there towards those homes. The other antennas, the one's pointing behind those buildings, and then the other one is pointing down the street. What we got on this test, pretty much the same. 3,793 megabits per second down, 267 megabits per second up. Really nice. That uplink, absolutely tremendous. The best way to get 5G capacity is with 5G ultra wideband. Nothing better. Let's go ahead and switch it over to LTE. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put it from the 5G on setting. We're going to put it on LTE, and that should get us out of the ultra wideband setting. Let's go ahead and test it now, and we'll see how it performs. I don't know if that CBRS is on. Sure doesn't look like it. You know, I'm so close to that antenna. Yeah, that should be a little bit higher. So, yeah, clearly the antenna, the signal strength just isn't there. And you can see that this area sorely needs it. 2.67 on the down, crawling on the uplink. Wow. Now, the thing that you might note is, why the heck haven't they turned it on? It may be an issue of fiber. Maybe they're waiting to run their one fiber initiative would install their own fiber there instead of using somebody else's, like, say, for example, AT&T or Cox or Spectrum or whomever else. All right, we'll run it one more time. CenturyLink Mansfield server. Yeah, the downlink and uplink is a problem over here. We're crawling. I mean, you'll be connected. You can do a lot of what you need to do, but you know, you might struggle from time to time with high resolution video playback. All right, so we got a ping of 68 millisecond, a little bit of jitter, 6 milliseconds, 6.1 on the down, and the uplink is at an absolute crawl. In this particular area, I think you got to have the ultra wideband. If you're a Verizon customer, you'd be smart to be on it. Let's go ahead and switch over to AT&T and test it. All right, so now we've got AT&T on there. We've got it in the LTE setting. Inevitably, we are connected to 5GE, the worst name in telecom. I don't know what's worse, T-Mobile's 5G ultra capacity or AT&T's 5GE. Hey, but hey, the 5GE is a good connection. Let's see what we got here for a latency. 28 millisecond latency. We got jitter at 2.4 milliseconds, 107 on the down, and just about 20 megabits per second on the up. That's a pretty good test. Much better than the LTE on Verizon, that's for sure. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and test it one more time, see if we get any variation. Should be more of the same. I've noticed that around here, the 5G is really good. Pretty reliable, lots of throughput. This test even better than the first. All right, so we got a 27 millisecond ping, 1 millisecond jitter. We got 144 on the downlink, 144 megabits per second. And then the uplink looks like it's gonna be pretty much the same, about 19 or 20 megabits per second. Good test. Let's go ahead and push this into 5G now and see if we got any 5G out here. All right, so let's turn on 5G. And yeah, looks like we got 5G. So that's probably gonna be N2. That's dynamic spectrum sharing, DSS. So it's not a dedicated 5G channel. It's actually a shared 5G channel with LTE. And in these cases, often we see, with AT&T at least, 100%, it's usually slower because you get more carriers, you get more band aggregation. So for example, this connection probably has 1 or 2 less carriers, so it might have 10 or even 20 megahertz less spectrum. So less throughput because you got less bandwidth. All right, 27 millisecond ping, we got a 24 millisecond jitter for whatever reason, 86 down, 19 on the up. We'll go ahead and test it one more time, make sure that it is not a fluke. It's not bad, you know, the speeds aren't awful. I mean, what can't you do with that type of speed? But you'll see that because 5G DSS and it's you're getting lesser bandwidth, you're gonna get slower speeds than the 5GE because of the restrictions of not being able to aggregate the same number of bands with 5G. So a lot of times you can actually turn off 5G and get better speeds with LTE whenever it's not dedicated channels or ultra wideband or whatever else, like what T-Mobile does with N41, ultra wide channels, 100 megahertz or more, it gets really fast. All right, 22 millisecond ping, 9 millisecond jitter, 99 down, about 16 on the up. Last thing to do is test T-Mobile. So let's go ahead and switch the SIMs. All right, so we're gonna start with LTE on T-Mobile. All right, let's go ahead and start there and see how the speeds are. I'd expect them to be not bad. I don't think so. I mean, they got a lot of spectrum. You know, they got the combination of LTE channels with Sprint and the native T-Mobile stuff, so. All right, so we got a 48 millisecond ping. We got 11 millisecond jitter. Starting with the downlink speed, looks like about 28 or 29 megabits per second. Remember, this is LTE to get things started here on this test. All right. Got 29 on the down and we got about 9 on the uplink. Let's go ahead and test it one more time. .48 millisecond ping, 5.2 millisecond jitter. And then on a downlink, we've got about 37 megabits per second. And then on the uplink, looks like pretty similar to the first test. We're at about 9 megabits per second. Let's go ahead and get things going with the 5G test. I'm gonna airplane mode it, make sure we get into 5G properly. All right, so let's go ahead and put this sucker into 5G on. We should see the 5G icon kick on there, and we'll see if we're getting N71, 600 megahertz, or if we're getting N41, 2.5 gigahertz. I'm gonna go ahead and flash airplane mode, just because people have recommended that I do that for the sake of making sure that we get proper band aggregations and we're not on standalone band 71 or whatever else. I mean, whatever you guys like, makes no difference to me. All right, so we are 5G on. We'll see what type of speeds we get. We just did the LTE test. We'll see if we're connecting to any N41. I think the N41 site's about, I don't know, I'd say probably about a mile and a half from here. It's not that far. Actually, there's 2 of them. There's one a couple of miles south of here, and there's one about a mile and a half northeast of here. And I don't think we're connecting to it, honestly, based on that speed test, unless it's congested. 48 millisecond ping, 8.2 millisecond jitter, We got about 20 megabits per second down and 11.2 megabits per second up. This test makes me think that it's connected to N71, possibly, but one can't be sure using the iPhone. Could check with a Galaxy. That would help, but, you know. Yeah, I don't think we're getting any of that N41 unless it's congested, which it shouldn't be. The channels here are pretty wide. We usually see 80 or 100 megahertz of bandwidth here, so I just don't think we're reaching. The N41 sites around here, very, very, very few of them can reach up to a mile. It just doesn't cut it. I don't know, optimizations, tower height, there's a lot of variables, but I just don't see it happening. Usually it's about a half a mile to 3/4 mile range. All right, we got a 47 millisecond ping, 64 millisecond jitter. That's some pretty poor networking there. We got 17 down and 13 on the up. So that's it from the testing. Clearly, you know, where Verizon has the ultra wideband, it's incredible. AT&T, while they don't have dedicated 5G out here, speeds are still really good. You'll see what the T-Mobile network is like on LTE and low band 5G. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think of the testing. I'll be back to test this site. I want to test the CBRS there, and we'll see how the LTE performs for Verizon once they get that turned on. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.
Thank you for taking this opportunity to watch the SMT YouTube channel. If you appreciated this video, give it a like and a share to all your favorite social media platforms. Thank you in advance for that. Also, check out some of the links in the description box. We have the SMT Patreon page. We also have the Twitter handle @SneedTech. And do check out the audio-only podcast available on all the major podcast platforms. And if you are new, have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.